Hello, my name is Dave Seaman. I'm privileged to lead an organization called the Partnership for Hope. The Partnership for Hope is a local missions organization that empowers, equips, and mobilizes believers to live out their calling, to fulfill the Great Commission and the Great Commandment in their local community. The Partnership for Hope was born out of a local church. I was on staff at that church, struggling to implement a vision for community outreach. I found myself on my face before God, confronted with so many good ideas, so many necessary ideas, so many needful things to do, and such a burden to carry out that mission. And I started to recognize that it isn't about me. It isn't about good idea. It is about simply recognizing that God is in charge. And I found myself in a place of freedom, recognizing that God already has the plans in place. And it was my responsibility to simply listen, to acknowledge Him and His leadership. I was privileged in my congregation to be able to start to change our culture. We started listening to people, started helping them hear the Holy Spirit. As a result of listening to God and encouraging our people to hear His Holy Spirit and to step out into what He has called them to do, I had a mom come to me who was burdened to help homeless families. She, her family, had started to volunteer at a local homeless shelter, and she wanted to do more. So we prayed. We met with the shelter staff, and they said, so many times we're able to provide assistance and temporary shelter, but when families return to housing, they're sleeping on the floor. We said, I think there's an opportunity. We think that there's something that God might want to do here to help us bridge the gap, to help us have opportunity to speak into the lives and to care for families who are struggling, who are at the end of themselves. As a result of those conversations, God provided opportunities for us to establish relationships with Bed Bath & Beyond and many other retailers. So far, we've collected $6.5 million worth of home and baby items that we have been able to use to offer help in the compassion of Christ. I remember in about a week's time, 3 people came to me at my home church and said, Dave, I have a family member, a friend who's been incarcerated, but God is calling me into those uncomfortable places of helping people who have been in prison. And I prayed with them. The conversation repeated several times. Within a week, I found out that they had opened up a halfway house about 5 miles away from our church. And God created opportunities for us to go in on a weekly basis to minister to over 300 men who are being released from prison back into our community. And say, God, stop showing off. And now I want to say, God, show off, and continue to do it. So far, in our first 13 years, God has privileged the Partnership for Hope to serve over 100 churches and ministries in central Pennsylvania. But I don't think He's done yet. He has created some opportunities, opened up some doors for some amazing new partnerships. We just signed an agreement with Amazon to distribute millions of dollars of basic needs through a relationship with Mission Central in Mechanicsburg. We're meeting with Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield to develop a technology that could resource churches, providing funding and technology. And God has opened up doors for us to be in conversation with a technology development company to deploy a new online platform that allows churches and ministries and small nonprofit organizations to create and to operate and to fund their community outreach ministry. It may be 300 churches, but it may be 300,000 churches, and we'll see what God does. In the book of Luke, chapter 10, Jesus mobilizes His disciples into ministry in the community. providing specific instruction of where to go and when. Folks, we would love for the Partnership for Hope to be your first stop in that journey. It is the privilege of my life to equip and mobilize and play a part in what God is doing to send His believers, send His children into ministry to change lives. If there are ways that the Partnership for Hope can serve you and your organization and your congregation, please contact us. Thank you.